Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Monday, the 2nd of December, 2024. We'll start by looking at the synoptic as per usual. And this is the situation at midnight last night with this low pressure having moved from between Iceland and Scotland further north and east and is now between Iceland and Norway. And that's still the dominating force in our weather at the moment. This flow of northerly air is basically coming down into the Atlantic and then returning back across the UK. And it's giving us a series of fronts. And if we run that through to lunchtime today, we can see that there's one front left to come across the top of Lasham, and that's this occlusion here. I don't think it's going to give us too much in the way of horrendous weather, but it is going to give us a sort of lowering, thickening sort of cloud base, which could be a bit of an issue for us. But we'll just keep an eye on that, and as the day progresses. I'll run that through midnight tonight and into tomorrow. And you can see that the whole situation has changed somewhat. And there's a bit of a high pressure from the Atlantic starting to push in and affecting the weather. But there is another low just south of Iceland, which is complicating matters and giving us a few fronts that are probably going to come our way. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Looking at the satellite picture then. This is about 7:30 this morning, and you can see we've got a westerly flow, and as daylight appears, you can see there's a little bit of sort of cloud cover, but there's quite a few gaps in it, and we've seen a few of those gaps in the last hour or two, but as this occlusion gets closer, that cloud is going to thicken up and have cloud base lowering a little bit. There is a little bit of rain on the occlusion, but not much. It's more like showers than frontal rain. And that's heading down the country as we look at it. It probably won't be with us until, or sort of the main band of rain probably won't be with us until after dark tonight. And if we run that rain forecast through, you can see there's showers coming down from Wales across sort of the Midlands and southwestern counties. But the main band of rain doesn't get to us until sort of maybe an hour or two after dark. So looking at the Odium TAF, they're suggesting 250 10 knots with greater than 10k visibility and few clouds at around about 1,000 feet, and temporarily between now and 1 o'clock this afternoon broken at 2,000 feet with a 30% chance that between now and 1 o'clock scattered at 1,000 feet. And then between 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock this afternoon, 30% chance that the wind will go around 280, 16, gusting 26 knots. And then becoming later on in the afternoon between 1 and 4 o'clock, broken at 1,500 feet. And the rest of that is into the evening and doesn't really affect us. Farnborough forecasting 240, 12 knots, greater than 10k visibility with few clouds at 1,500 feet. 30% chance that between now and 6 o'clock this evening, visibility down to about 6 kilometres and showers and rain, with cloud broken at 1,400 feet. The spot winds at 1,000 feet to the north of us, 280, 25 knots, and to the south, 300, 30 knots. And windy is suggesting at around about lunchtime today, we've got a 12-knot westerly. And the local forecast is showing something very similar. So a 12-knot westerly throughout the sort of better part of the day. Broken clouds up until about 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon, with a very slight chance of rain. And yeah, humidity down out of the 90s, so it should be quite a reasonable day, and hopefully we'll get some flying out of it. GFS are suggesting about 8 centigrades with a dew point down around about 5. And if we have a look at the sort of local weather, this is looking towards Lasham from Alton. You can see we've got that low cloud, but it's quite well broken up. And the temperatures, but probably about half an hour ago, were 7 and 5.2. We'll just refresh that. Yeah, it's still the same, 7 and 5.1. Skysight then, they're suggesting low cloud, but broken up in part of the day. and top meteor, if we have a look at the sequence from 9 o'clock onwards, we can see that we should have clear sky, certainly for a couple of hours, with perhaps just a little bit of cumulus in there, but that's gradually going to fill in. And then by sort of mid to late afternoon, cloud base is going to be coming down, and that's going to spoil the end of the afternoon, I think. No times today then, there's just three that are local to us. 11 is Goodwood, their air traffic zone times of operation have been revised. 17 is Winchester, there's live firing over there. And 19 is Ash Ranges, that's Delta 132 is active today. So let's move on to the sort of local briefing for the airfield then. And we'll start with the usual ODM cross-section. They're showing a 30% chance of scattered strata with a few broken strata around about 1,000 feet, maybe a little bit higher. Towards the end of the afternoon, you can see this occlusion approaching and the fuse becoming broken and then overcast by about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, if we can get as much flying done as we can as early as possible, that will benefit everyone, I think, there. They are suggesting the winds will be westerly, 12 gusting 22, and then increasing throughout the day, 14 gusting 24, with a probability that we can get 16 gusting 26. So look after the ground handling today, look after the canopies, and just generally keep everything safe out there. So we've got certainly a need for two K21s out at the launch point. We've got one on booked instructional flying, one on the casual list, and one for booked club members. I think two will suffice for the day, though. All other gliders are available. I'm not sure we'll be able to do the trial lessons today, but I'll make a decision on that once I've been outside and had a good look at the weather. And of course, the simulator is available as per normal. So perhaps at the end of the day, if we do have to pack up a little bit early, make use of the sim before you go home. Just church notices is the standard for the next few months is going to be SPL deadline. Just make a note of that when you get a chance. Get your paperwork done. Bring it to me or Barry, and we'll get it stamped up and signed. There is one movement that should be happening any moment now. I've already heard the hooter go off. I've not seen the strobe on yet, but then again, I can't quite see the strobe from sat here where I am. But that's due at 9:10. It's an A320 arriving, and we'll go out as soon as the airfield is handed back to us. So the general situation for today is there's a low pressure over Scandinavia, bringing northerly flow in a series of fronts. Should be flyable in the morning with cloud thickening up later in the day as an occlusion approaches. I'm suggesting runway 27 hard for launching, cables on the boom to the south, landing on 27 hard from left-hand circuits and landing on 27 north grass from right-hand circuits. And please avoid using a wheel brake unless it's absolutely necessary when you're on the grass. To the south of the airfield at the end of 05 and 34, it's basically out of bounds. The ground down there is quite saturated. Please do not land or taxi on the disused runways, which are shown in red on the next slide. And please clean the gliders at cease of play. So the setup today, we're going to advance the launch point vehicle down the airfield a bit to give room behind for landing on the runway. Aero towing to the north on the hard, winch launching to the south off the hard. When you land back on the runway from a left-hand circuit, please stop, okay, get out, and then pull the glider forwards, okay? Don't try taxiing right back up to the launch point. That's it from me today. Let's have a great day's flying, make it lots and lots of fun, and please keep it safe. I shall see you out there.